Hello, teachers! Today, you will learn how stress affects our minds and bodies. Having stress at work, at home, or even being all alone is inevitable. Let's face it, being at the forefront in the education world, educators will definitely be facing stressful situations in every corner possible. Thus, it is important for teachers to manage their stress-induced emotions and understand how to deal with stressful situations before a more severe compounding effect will roll in, such as having burnout from stress. In this video, we will learn about the physical and psychological problems that can come from prolonged or chronic stress. When we experience stress repeatedly, our body's immune system is reduced. In healthy individuals, the brain is normally protected from circulating molecules by a blood-brain barrier. But under repeated stress, this barrier becomes fragile. As a result, inflammatory proteins in the blood can get into the brain. Repeated stress is a major trigger for recurrent damage in the body. It has been shown to lead to many health problems, including diabetes and heart diseases. There is one part of the brain that is particularly vulnerable to effects of prolonged stress, that is, the hippocampus. This is an important part of the brain that is involved in learning and memory. So, it is not surprising that when people are under severe stress, their ability to learn and concentrate is reduced. They may not be able to pay attention in their work or studies in the classroom. They may not be motivated to engage in activities with others, even if these were their favorite activities in the past. This is because the brain systems that are damaged by stress affects motivation and mental alertness. When the severe stress goes on for a long time and is not dealt with effectively, the hippocampus could become smaller. This is due to high levels of stress hormones released in the brain, known as cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone because of its connection to the stress response. However, cortisol is much more than just a hormone released during stress. Cortisol affects memory functions, blood sugar level, metabolism, and help reduce inflammation. In women, cortisol also supports the menstruation cycles. All of these functions make cortisol a crucial hormone to protect overall health and well-being. However, when the level of cortisol is too high, such as during prolonged stress, the balance is disrupted. This puts the individual at higher risk of many physical problems, such as hypertension and diabetes. Among women and girls, this can severely disrupt the menstrual cycle and sexual health. Cortisol also plays an important role in maintaining a good quality of sleep. High cortisol levels interfere with our sleep, and people with prolonged sleep disruption and deprivation are at risk of mental health disorders such as depression and anxiety. To rebalance the body's high cortisol level, another brain function needs to be activated, that is, the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system slows the stress response by releasing hormones that counter the effects of cortisol. As a result, it relaxes the mind and body while inhibiting or slowing many of the high-energy functions of the body. One of the important strategies for managing anxiety is to learn daily habits that can activate the parasympathetic responses in our bodies. We will learn more about these strategies in section 1.2 of this chapter. These risks cannot be taken lightly. What affects our bodies also affects our minds. Chronic stress has a significant impact on our psychological well-being and overall mental health. Stress can also interfere with our ability to distinguish between rational and logical thinking and emotional reactions. We see this during the COVID-19 pandemic. When people first hear the news about the global spread of the novel coronavirus, many go into a panic and start hoarding basic things like toilet paper. Shops became almost empty with the supplies of toilet paper, despite government's reassurance that there were plenty of stock available. This is because stress may force the brain to switch to a habit system. Under stress, brain areas such as the putamen become more active. This active putamen is linked to hoarding behavior, and in stressful situations, it also increases our reaction to irrational fears. Eventually, these fears override the brain's usual ability for logical, rational decision-making. At the biological level, chronic stress increases the risk of physical illness, such as hypertension and diabetes. At the cognitive level, it reduces our ability to concentrate and learn effectively, and it makes us pay more attention to negative information. As a result, our ability to think and decide rationally is seriously impaired. As educators and teachers, the more we understand how this stress and anxiety works and affects our minds and bodies, the more aware we are of alternative solutions and support that we could offer to our learners with disabilities to overcome or manage their stress level. This kind of situation will significantly impact girls with disabilities in large parts of the world where discrimination still happens. Thus, we as teachers must muscle up front to help and offer a helping hand to ease and mitigate stressful situations for them. In summary, teachers and educators must first understand the importance of handling our stress and emotion well, not only in making sure that we are able to continue to provide better services to our audience, especially to learners with disabilities, but also in making sure that our mental health and psychosocial well-being is on positive check in these trying times. Thank you for watching.